these videos are brought to you by G66 UK. Now, this week, or the end of last week, the Axe-Fx 3 got a new beta firmware which introduces gapless preset switching. So before this, you'd get this kind of little, very small gap. I was actually just playing around with this. I think, to be honest with you, on a gig, I don't know that this would be the kind of thing that it's going to be a real bother anyway, but this is what it was like before. And this is what it's like now. Check out Leon Todd's video. He's got some other ideas on this on the channel. But today I wanted to talk about maybe managing our presets in a slightly different way now that this is possible. So of course, you could run your scene mode as usual, and you'll find now that there won't be a gap between amp switching. So this, for FM3 users and FM9 users, if they get this, would be really good news, particularly FM3 users. For Axe-Fx 3 users, great news, obviously, already. The thing is, that you need to first of all enable global spillover mode. So I'll just show you on the unit how to do that. Yeah, spillover. So you can turn spillover on, delay and reverb, reverb all. Okay, so the next thing to bear in mind is that you've got several delay blocks. So I think what might be a good idea, so that you keep things kind of tidy, is to replicate things roughly on presets that you know you're going to be switching between. So for that reason, on this preset here, I've got JC AC20 ambient test. I have this dual delay block bypassed, and on this preset here, I have it unbypassed. So if you're going to be wanting to switch and retain those trails, don't switch to a preset on the other side which has delay 1 with different settings, if that makes sense. So on this preset, I'm going to use delay 1 kind of redundantly, but bypass, so that I maintain those trails. If I wanted a different delay sound over here, I would use delay 2, and likewise, when it comes to this preset, I would leave it bypassed. And then what you get is kind of seamless. That's the general kind of principle, that things that you want kind of smooth connections for, just change it to shunt. Yeah, manage your presets in that way, so that you've got kind of your global idea of what that preset should be. So here, as you see, And if you're wondering why some of your presets sound kind of funky when you're switching between them, if you're using the same delay block but with way different settings, so I'll just demonstrate that now. So let's just let's break this preset, I guess, by changing it to something totally different, because there's no longer going to be a trail to maintain, right? So you see, because basically it's interrupting the spillover, interrupting the trail. I don't know if this was the same before, but it makes sense that now that we've got this idea that you, basically try to kind of separate the tasks of the delays into their different blocks. Let me just copy that one again. If you want that trail to continue, keep the blocks the same. It's basically the idea that I'm suggesting. So stereo trem delay, if we save that. Now when I switch between the two, you see things get a little bit wonky because they're obviously now different. So if we copy this block and put it back to where we wanted it, edit, paste block, and then save. Equally for the bypass block. That one should be bypassed here though, shouldn't it? Save. Then here. Now switching back between them. So that's probably a good practice. Do the same with reverbs, I would suggest, because we've got obviously two reverb blocks. So if you had two different reverbs, so maybe on this preset here, I might want, let me just do this actually. I might want there to be a spring. So we can go for a large spring as well. I don't know, let's just turn that up to 100 and set to mute effects in. Copy the block, save, jump to the next preset, edit, paste. And then bypass it here. I should have a trail, right? I think. I'm not sure if that is actually working as I expected it to. So there may be some things that need to change. Definitely the delays were doing what I'd expected. The reverb not so much. At least in that case it's not throwing kind of weird glitchy sounds. So I think if you're hearing weird glitchy sounds, it's probably because you've got a delay which is having to kind of reconfigure itself during the switch, or a reverb probably. Those are going to be the most obvious things that I would check. So I would kind of separate the tasks in the way that I've just shown you there. If you're getting spikes in volume, this is a thing that kind of happens in the real world as well. I noticed with a switcher and a couple of pedals that if you've got big gain increases, sometimes it can send like a bit of a pop through the signal chain, which obviously you'll notice with your delay, in which case I think managing the levels is the important thing to try to do. I think over time maybe this will get refined a bit, but in the real world, you know, with amps like Mesa Boogies, they have like a split second mute. So I guess that's what the gap is there for anyway, right? So if you're finding that suddenly there's like a big noise that's getting chucked through, then maybe you'd be better off with a gap. I don't know. So that's kind of just a little bit of kind of general preset management, just to demonstrate what might happen if you're going through, you know, your general kind of it's actually not as bad as I was expecting in some ways. Oh, there you go, there's one. The sort of thing you might find. Not bad at all, but yeah, if you want really pristine kind of switching there with your delay trails maintained, use those blocks in that way and you should be good. I hope that's kind of useful, as this is kind of new to all of us, I guess. But the gap is gone. Long live the non-gap. I'll catch you in another video soon, and cheers for stopping by. Thanks to G66 UK. There you can grab an FM3 Turbo, FM9 Turbo, or an Xfx 3, which can now do these gapless preset switches. I'll see you around. Cheers.